delightful background audio. Hey! Okay, thank you for joining. I'm excited for you to experience the only X game that has a wide, unusual portion of RNG, much to many people's dismay. Why not? Voice is quite hard to hear. This is exactly why I need an audience to let me know that I'm quiet and hard to hear. Hopefully that helps. It's weird that it resets like every time. Okay, cool. Is the game audio coming through okay? Or is it overwhelming in comparison? It's very good, cool intro that I love very much. Also, Myth is here now, too. It's a party. The very modest party. So, Myth will appreciate this. I know, well, no, actually, I'm not sure how familiar Thicket is with any of this stuff, or any of the series. But I'm gonna go for a couple RNG fires. Which actually... Do I want to keep that on? Yeah, let's keep that on for now. I haven't actually messed with the second collection on PS4 yet. Or 5, rather. Absolutely yes. Almost tempted to turn on auto charge, but I won't resort to it. Also forgot there was a game speed slow. I should mess with those settings at some point. But not now. So one of the trophies in this one, medals, achievements, whatever you want to call them, it has to do with the RNG objectives in this. You fire a laser cannon, and then if that fails, which it's more or less supposed to canonically, so the percent is very low, or... Yeah, I've actually been looking into the X7 speedrun leaderboard. I almost want to make my own category just to say that I'm the top on it, just to see if I can convince other people to torture themselves with me, but that's for another time. But one of the trophies in this is getting the kill with the laser, which is not supposed to happen, and it's entirely random. And I'm just gonna, like, try firing it after I save the first time so I can, revert just to see. Because if I can get it on stream, that'd be pretty hype. And also, I have no idea who Mysterious Voice is. I know that I make that joke every time I play this, but, my god. Who could it be? Good intro. Thank you, Games Freak. I appreciate it. Really getting to the key conversation points quick and efficient. There's gonna be a lot of interrupting dialogue. We're gonna deal with it together as a family. I know we can do it if we just try our best. Right off the bat, I feel like I'm getting a lot more health items. And I'm wondering if that's a quality of life improvement over X4, or if it's just good RNG right now. Show feet. Hey, Tenkai, thank you for joining. I think I saw a mention on the game audio. No, we're actually in game audio. Gotcha. I'll turn that down a bit. The Elgato was turned up quite a bit, I think, from last week. Doesn't help that there's a lot of sounds. How's that? I just turned it down to 0.55. Also, yeah, it never really occurred to me in all of my jokes that we get mysterious voice and question marks. Also, the statue slide always kills me. Oh no, Zero, what could have possibly happened? It also just now occurs to me, it can't be seen or analyzed. So if, in this case, is it implied that Zero fought Sigma and then Sigma turned into the statue? Leave to not check before I go. So yeah, I don't know if it wasn't Sigma. It doesn't seem like they're talking about Sigma in that instance as if they already fought him. And if that's the case, then why is Zero's arm all the way off? It's our boy. I mean, to be fair, it's one of the least bad injuries that Zero has sustained so far, so it's, like, very par for the course. It's better than his pants blowing off. I'm totally safe, because I'm crouching. Don't even worry about it, there's absolutely no danger. There we go. Statue Ligma Birdie is pretty solid. God damn it. We are really off to a great start, narrative-wise. It really, like, I can't get over that now. Like, either Zero already fought Sigma, Sigma dipped, turned into a statue just to jump scare X, or Zero's arm flew off for no reason. And, like, both of those options are stupid. Oh my god. Yeah, the arm thing isn't even the worst injury that Zero's technically sustained in this game. I don't even think it's the third worst in this game, let alone the rest of the series. Yeah, no, I'm going to. Tenkai, you didn't join in. I'm going to save first, just in case, but I am going to try the Enigma immediately, as soon as I save once. I was kind of tempted to do a bunch of intentional deaths to do all the items, because I don't have that Hunter medal on my PS5 version yet, but I don't know if I want to subjugate everybody to dealing with that, so I'm not going to bother. But suffice to say, the achievements in X5 are far from optimal. But essentially right now, for those, I guess in this case Thicket specifically, unfamiliar with the story, um, destroying Sigma knocked a shuttle off course, or a space colony off course, which is basically brewing a virus, like a gigantic planet-consuming computer virus. And now there is a time countdown to shoot the station down before it collides with Earth. I only summarize that because I'm pounding my way through these fucking texts. I do think I'm going to go in and game over so I can save, so that I don't have any of the stages to worry about, but also don't have to reset and read that dialogue again over and over. And everybody knows the fastest way to kill yourself in X5. Yeah, there's a lot of space colon going on in the X games recently. Oh, darn it. Oh, shoot, I missed. Oh, no. Why is the box I'm sitting on loading constantly? Oh, that's a good question, actually. I didn't realize that that was a thing that was happening. It might just be... Hold on. Why is it doing that? I've never seen that happen before. What if I hit save? Does that do anything? What if I disappear momentarily? Oh, it's not even... That's bizarre. That's very bizarre. I know, I can't believe I died that much either. Also, hello, Ruka. Thank you for joining. We might just have to deal with the little man having the loading icon over it. That's very bizarre. Myth, if you want to troubleshoot that a little bit, but I'm also not super worried about it. Oh, I was just straight up not. I was reading text and checking my reading my shit. That was very much on purpose. So I want to quickly save. Yeah, I'm just gonna save it. This doesn't matter. And now that we've saved without all the dialogue in the way, we are going to immediately. I know it was a speed run. I went out of my way to do the best I could. Anyway, we're going to shoot this very unoptimized laser. Take a shot. All right. I think it's something like a 12% chance that this will actually succeed first try. So, if this happens, we are very, very excited. We should be extremely excited. Absolutely every mechanic in game is against us right now. This should not work. It almost certainly won't work. I don't even think you can buy 5 subs yet. No, okay, did not work. No subs for anybody. I'm so sorry. I cannot believe that this is an achievement in this one. So, again, for those who aren't aware, which I think is still just the one person right now, but, you know, it's whatever. The more bosses we defeat in a specific order, the more parts that we get to make that more likely to succeed. But even in canon, it doesn't actually fully succeed at the best possible chance. I know, love that you can only shoot it the one time. Yeah, Iruka, that's because there's, like, really no reason to do this way, because it's all... Thank you, Myth. Yeah, no, see, there is always the shuttle, but the shuttle isn't part of the achievement. The achievement is specifically shoot down the colony with the Enigma. It's like, but you're not supposed to do that, Collection. Like, why would you make that part of this? God, there's so much dialogue to cut through here. I am going to try the shuttle right away, too. And then I'm going to restart, because there's no fucking way I'm dealing with this in that format. But yeah, I'm going to just shoot my friend into space real fast. Oh god, I have to go through the second set of boss introductions. I love X5, but god, this is stupid. Apparently the parts don't do anything. Honestly, that doesn't surprise me. Knowing everything that I do know about this game, hearing that is like, yeah, of course they don't. Anyway, shame about that single shot laser cannon. Let's shoot a space shuttle right into it. And naturally, Zero is the only one qualified because Zero is the only one that already lost an arm, so he's basically worthless. I guess kind of like a wounded horse? I don't really know where that analogy's going, but who knows if this will work. Oh man, from 6 to 12. Is this just 54%? Colony won't be able to be destroyed. Our mission has failed. Okay, well, let's just shoot. Well, that was a really quick run. Thanks for joining, everybody. I'm glad everyone could show up and watch a any percent colony attempt speed run. Thank you so much. I know Zero is great at dying tragically. So the real question is, do we want to try one more time? I'll leave that up to chat. Give it one more literal shot. I won't do the space shuttle. Yeah, shoot the colony out? Alright. I only needed the one guess. That's enough validation for me. Jumping right into 6. Crazy how short 5 was. Nah, okay. That's immediately fine. Alright. Actual stages. I am kind of tempted to... Son of a bitch. I am kind of tempted to try after every stage just to, like, quote-unquote max out my attempts. Because there's just, you know, no other real good way to do this. But we're starting out with the bear. Zero, you got your arm back. I'm so happy. You know, oh man, I love how many secret weapons there are in the X series as a whole. By the way, because there's also like the beam cannon that Web Spider is guarding in 4. It's like, can we try that one? How many do we have? Are there more secret laser cannons elsewhere in the world? Of course there are. But only one orbital elevator. Also, this is one of my favorite songs in the entire series. And no one ever talks about it, and that breaks my heart. So I'm just gonna sit in it for a little while. So good. It's actually kind of weird how I've grown to appreciate the crouch mechanic. I kept trying to do it when I was playing 4, forgetting that it got introduced with the wire hooks in 5, and it felt weird not having it. Which is, like, extra weird because you usually don't have it. Like, percent-wise, it's only in half the series, basically. Well, I guess it's technically not in 7. You could kind of crouch, I guess, with Axel's combat roll, but that's not really the same. Oh my god! Not really the same thing. Controller ate my input there. E-tank. And now it's time to once again shoot ourselves into space, but this time via truck! And yeah, Volt Kraken I would call kind of underrated too, but I feel like usually when people talk about the X5 soundtrack, it's either Volt Kraken or Spiral Pegasus weirdly gets a lot of attention too, which never really occurred to me, but it is a pretty good song. I think out of the PS1 era games, X5 has my favorite soundtrack, still. I did a whole ranked list of them forever ago, which I kind of have feelings on differently now. But I think my soundtrack placements are still pretty much intact, and 5 is really good. Like, 5 has a kick-ass soundtrack. And no, actually, as far as I'm aware, they never did anything about replacing the Bubble Crab remix, which is fair. I mean, it's really good. And don't get me wrong, I like the PS1 soundtracks across the board. X-Force has grown on me a lot. I actually used to not like it very much. I'm not a fan of the fact that it doesn't loop. That does still bother me. It's clear that they were kind of still experimenting with how to make that work on the discs. And, yeah, I think they did know that. I know that, there's, like, the one trivia that Myth and I like to quote about, Blizzard Buffalo's stage music in 3, where, she was quoted as saying, like, whenever I hear this song, or, like, when I was composing this song, I pictured a very cold world. Which is just, like, a very poetic... Like, it's half silly, but also, like, hey, you did a really good job at that. So, yes, like, congratulations, you succeeded. My critiques about the PS1 era bosses being a little too overly detailed to animate properly does kind of still hold up, though, because watching his movements through his specially constructed rock backgrounds are just like... It's pretty clunky. Not that the Super Nintendo era ones were particularly over-animated either. Although I will say that it started in X3 for sure. Like, those bosses are all big and much less animated. X6, I also just checked back over again. When you say X6 favorite, I'm assuming you're just talking about soundtrack. In this case. Yeah. I was gonna say, I mean, now, bearing in mind, I really like X6, despite its flaws. Most of the heavy lifting is from the story. But, yeah, X6 has a really good soundtrack, too, honestly. Oh, fuck, I forgot to pull up a guide to see which items I'd want to grab out of these. How do I feel about the level system? I'm not really a fan. Like, it doesn't bother me a ton. I guess the level system wouldn't bother me as much in this if it did a little bit more to change the fights instead of just turning boss fights into bullet sponges, or damage sponges, I guess, in this case. Because, the refights in this one are rough, just because of how long they take. Because they're not even particularly difficult. Like, when you're fully armed in this one, you're fully armed. Like, you know, you're just as beefy as X usually is at full power. So it really doesn't do much for it. But I do like the fact that it augments the difficulty stage per stage. I think that's neat. But since it's also tied into, like, the RNG chances in this one, and stuff like the, you know, the selecting which items you get, and the fact that you can't even get all the items unless you just throw your body into a whole bunch of times. I think that kind of sours it a whole. But that's not really the level system's fault. That's just, like, all of it, you know? Anyway, it's time for our next laser chance. Because now we got us a crystal ball, and that's totally going to make a difference. I do admittedly really like Metal Shark's stage music too, but it's not one that I would, like, go out of my way to listen to. It just fits the stage very well. Oh my god! We actually shot it! It's not the explosion, though. Holy crap! I genuinely didn't expect to get that on stream. That's incredible. I don't have it on my Switch version either, and I save-scummed that bastard, like... I think I tried for almost, like, an hour one day. That's nuts. So, there's the clip, I guess. Oh, that's what got Games Freak to finally follow me. Yeah, fuck you, Eurasia. Oh my god, that's nuts. Well, time to go bully these guys for no other particular reason, I suppose. I mean, a Zero virus? It's like Zero, and seems to have a pretty strong power. Didn't this also happen, yeah, perfect. That's very noble of you. Oh my god. I can't get over it. I really didn't expect that to go off. I'm actually pretty genuinely excited for that. That's such a pain in the ass achievement to get. But now we're in non-canon territory, kind of. But we do also get the really good stage select music, like, the entire time now, which is awesome. I love this song. I also love calling it the Zero virus. This happened in our Let's Play series, I think, right? Correct me if I'm wrong on that, Myth or Games Freak, but we got the one ending where Zero didn't have to do anything, and everybody starts calling this the Zero virus, even though he didn't participate at all. So our whole joke was just like, what do you mean, Zero? I didn't fucking do anything. Like, well, I'm just sitting over here. I didn't even go through the intro stage, you guys. What the hell? Oh, man. That's so good. Okay, let's go obliterate the battleship. Oh, God, that's funny. Yeah, exactly. Because Zero did... Well, I guess 0 people. Yeah, nothing bad happened. I think now we're also going to get all the dialogue that's like, you don't need any of the parts here, so you don't have to be here for any... Oh, that's the other thing. Now I could theoretically just go to the end of the game, but I definitely don't want to deal with that. Oh, Jesus! Okay, we got him. We saved him. I love, like, water levels in X1 and 2 are so good. Like, Bubble Crab's and Launch Octopus's stage are some of my favorite water stages in video games in general. I love those levels, unironically. The movement is great. It's kind of like playing through a space stage. You just get the cool low-gravity effects. And it blows my mind that X4 doesn't even have one in general, and X5 does this. And just makes you wait and wait. It's unbearable. Drives me nuts. That's okay. Just for you, because we got the good ending, I'll make sure to just say Duff McWhalen. And if I forget, then I forget. And I apologize in advance if I forget. But I'll do my best. Alright. Time to just chill for a sec. How you doing, chat? Are you all as excited as I am about shooting down that stupid space colony? Really all I can think about right now. There we go. Oh, thank God, it's only level 1. Space accelerator. Could be using Grizzly's weapon here. I'm gonna save that a little bit. I don't like using it on the first portion just because it doesn't really matter that much, but the second portion is enough of a bullet hell where I usually use it right away. And then third, I'm kind of mixed on. It's not super necessary. It does go faster, but not by enough. And then it's McWhalen's weakness. No. I feel pretty confident in the boss fights in this one without it. And granted, that's probably mostly because you get to start with the Force Armor. I like to stick with the special weapons unless specifically challenged. Yeah, exactly, Iruka. That's like the perfect way to put it. It's like the concept of the coelacanth submarine mechanoid from Bubble Crab stage, except just done worse in every regard. Even though it's clear that they were going for like bigger and more dramatic, it's like that's cool, but can we just like not, please? Like, at the very least, just make it, like, a big open... Like, flex your, abilities to, like, stack more stuff in with CDs and just make, like, a huge environment to go through or something. Like, really make it an exciting, super cool experience. Especially because you also get, like, the hover and, I guess that's kind of it. But, like, dashing feels really good in the PS1 games. Not that it didn't in the Super Nintendo ones. And it really is kind of a bummer that, like, instead of that... And then, this one is so badly optimized that you are more than likely going to need to come back here multiple times. Like, at the very least, you need this weapon to get this armor capsule, which is absolutely baffling. Like, I think that's one of the worst pieces of stage design in the series. Personally. Or, yeah, like the X sub-series, in particular. Yeah, like, it's just... It drives me insane. In the same vein, I feel like I could say the same thing about the Ride Chaser stage. I mean, especially in this one, but Jet Stingray's stage has always bummed me out too, because like I love Overdrive Ostrich's level. I love the way the Ride Chaser is utilized in that level as a set piece. And the fact that you have, like, full control over it and all that. And they've never replicated that in any game since then. And it really is confusing to me because you would think that with the horsepower of a better console, you would be able to take those concepts and do them better. Like, the Ride Arm, the one with the arm blade, is super satisfying in the PS1 games. I don't know if it's my favorite version of the Ride Armor, but it's definitely up there. So you'd think that they could have made that kind of, like, successful feature boost across the board, you know? But yeah, like, any kind of removal of agency, or, like, you know, outside of shoot-em-ups, pretty famously, most people don't like auto-scrollers, just in general, either. But then there's also weird shit like this, too, like, I was just able to, like, freely destroy these cannons, and now they have a whole chunk of health, because now it's the portion where you can actually damage it, so now it has to be more challenging. Take that. I don't know, there's just a lot of not super great decisions. I think I'm gonna die here. I'm not thrilled about it. Just for the sake of not having to do this stage multiple times. I'm already gonna need to. Yeah, like, at the very least, I guess you should be able to be rewarded for going through this portion optimally. Like, if you manage to destroy the boat beforehand, then it should just, like, power you to the end or let you, like, free climb or whatever else. Especially because, at least in the last portion, falling doesn't kill you. You just float. So there's no peril, really. I think you die here. I'm not willing to check it. But, there's a lot of feedback. I like X5, but there's a lot of, critiquing you can give it. That's the word I'm thinking of. Great soundtrack, though. And I think a pretty solid set of special weapons. Not the best, but, not the worst either. The sea is already dead. Oh, God. Oh, right! This is gonna be a whole bunch of dialogue that I'm not used to seeing. I'm a man of the sea. I want to share the same destiny as the ocean. Okay, alright, fuck. The ocean's already dead. I love the ocean, so I too want to die. Oh my god. Let me rest in the ocean in peace. I mean, at least, I don't know, I kind of prefer that kind of dialogue over the crushing hopelessness of the other scenarios where you're like, hey, can you just, like, give me this item? And then there's some kind of pushback, and then they get infected right in front of X. Conveniently timed every time. Although, that said, I'm critical of that a little bit, but I love that they added dialogue portions before the bosses in this one. I think that's one of the best additions that X5 gave. Like, giving more flavor to the bosses in stage is the best. I know, I'm sorry, Duff. I also really love that this and 6 in Maginian stage, but both have the very unfortunate side effect of their set pieces like sinking and exploding and falling down into pits, and then you walk to the right and they're collapsed in the boss room background. It's like, how'd you get there, bud? I watched you float downwards. That doesn't go all life. I don't care. Oh, well, I feel like there's something that I need for something, but it's whatever, it doesn't matter. Yeah, Tenkai, that's not a wrong way to think about it, I guess. It's time for my boy. It's time for Dynamo to be the coolest fucking side character. I love him so much. Oh god, I can't remember where, but am I sure about really liking Dynamo? Because yes. Oh, if we're gonna critique Mega Man characters wearing, like, underwear in some regard, then we're gonna be here forever. No, the reason I like Dynamo is because he gets narrative. He actually has the presence of mind to be like, actually, I don't feel like fighting to the death. Why? And, you know, leaving instead of being an idiot. Which, in polar opposition to Colonel being, like, the worst character in the series, or one of. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but I stand by it. It's very refreshing, and not something that anybody else repeats. Also, he's an X-Dive, which I only point out because, for whatever reason, they only give him the that jump cut and the saber throw as his special abilities, and not the ground wave that he gets in the rematch, which seems like such a gigantic missed opportunity for a cool playable ability that I'm kind of astonished that they even bothered putting him in the first place. Or no, he gets the saber swing and then the attack where he, if you're fighting him as Zero, he jumps up in the air and then shoots the splitting buster shot. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, he's anime rival, but, like, in a regard where he's, I don't know, he's written very uniquely for the X series specifically. And, like, that I appreciate because it's the 5th game, and then he's also in the 6th game. And that kind of change was, like, really sorely needed. I appreciate that a lot. And I like the design work that went into him, too. Like, the fact that he's based on mounted cavalry, and he's supposed to be kind of a blend between X's and Zero's strengths and weaknesses and all that. I'm a fan, is what I'm saying. God, though, when he got released in X-Dive, I remember seeing a bunch of people being like, I don't like his design because he's supposed to be like a cowboy and he's not, you know, brown and he doesn't look like a cowboy, so here's a version of him I drew with a cowboy hat. It's like, you guys, he's not supposed to be that. There's, like, design documentation. He's mounted cavalry. It's very intentional. It's fine if you want to do redesigns, that's whatever, but don't be like, this is stupid, and then fundamentally misunderstand the design. Thank you. Very good, Aruka. Anyway, bye. I mean, I'd go for a playable Chill Penguin. Alright, let's see if I can do this relatively quickly. It's been... Nope, can't. Bye! It's been a while since I've had to do this, and everybody... I think everybody is permanently rusty at this part. Like, regardless of how often you, do it. dash there, then... Right. Nope, too high. I do want to dash there, but not that high and not that early. Ah! And yeah, like, more playable Mavericks, or at the very least, like, more Maverick merchandise would, would be great. Also, yes, thank you, Iruka. I'm glad I'm not the only one that, like, isn't really a fan of how Vile played in, Maverick Hunter. I wanted to. I gave it an honest shot. I played all the way through it. But it's like... I don't know, it's very stiff, and I know that that is partially on purpose. I'll take that. Usually I game over at least once trying to do that. But yeah, like, the fact... I know that it's supposed to, you know, distinguish how he plays versus X and Zero, and I appreciate the effort that they put into that, but the fact that he, like, plants himself to shoot every weapon is just such a pace killer, and, like, the levels just weren't designed for it. Which is extra crazy because they redesigned a bunch of the stage elements. You'd think they would have at least, like, kind of geared that towards that, but it really didn't feel like they did. Let's get us a hat. Yeah, I know. Gently shooting energy at wall is, like, one of the best. He couldn't even turn it into, like, a charge shot or something. The stage is really terrible. Like, it's got great music, and I do actually like the background art, which is kind of rare for me for the PS1 games. I think the disparate art styles throughout are really frustrating. But, like, the fact that you go from the infiltration portion to this... He's like, I get what they were going for, but it's so sloppy. It's like, can I please just, like, shoot two buttons? Like, do I really have to, like, sit here and fucking wait for this thing to go up and up and up? Also, they damage... It's just a lot. I swear I like this game. I promise. Ah. Wait for that. Those will crush you if they close on you. The switches damage you if you make contact, even with, like, not the electric parts. But at least rescue Reploids are in their only good form in this stage. So that's something. Well, I guess there's a couple other rescue Reploids in X5 as well. But this stage, I feel like, has the most of them by a wide margin. Damn it. Oh, God! Please. Please. No, come on! Why are you like this? God, I hate this room so much. There's just so much, like, hurry up and wait in this game. Love of God. Now you're gonna crush me. Oh my God, that's messed up. And, like, it's just, like, I'm damage boosting through so much of this because so many of these enemies are just like, and we're invincible, and we're invincible, and we're invincible, and we're invincible. definitely gonna die here once, I'm sure, but I can live with that. You get a life every time you pick up one of the rescue Reploids, so it's not like I'm hurting for that. A lot of X6, I'm used to... yeah. And then there's X7, where literally everything kills them. Oh no, that's so sad. X, please. That's super interesting. I need to go back and see if they fix that translation for both versions of this dialogue. Because, yeah, Tenkai, in the initial conversation that's canon, it's Octopardo. Like, he uses the Japanese name, and I've always kind of teased that. But in this, like, this version of the dialogue, it's not. My god, that means when they go Maverick, they turn English. It all makes so much sense now. we were the Mavericks all along. This is not gonna happen. Yeah, there we go. Wow, I'm super hung up on that. I can't believe he says octopus in that version. It's nuts. I'm also wondering if I want to curse chat with the visual thing on screen right now that has been bothering me ever since I got the collection, but you might not know about. And I could spare you from it, but I could also be a monster. I too could be a Maverick. I'm gonna throw a bunch of cubes at him. Oh, I'm gonna do that when I'm not getting interrupted. Okay, you know what? Never mind. No cubes for you. Also, yeah, Neon, thank you for joining, first of all. But second of all, he says octopus in his Maverick version. So what you missed so far is that I actually got the shoot down. I tried it, I think, like 4 or 5 times. And once I decided, okay, this isn't working, I knew it wasn't going to work, I'm just going to go through the stages and then try another laser shot and save quit every time it fails. I got it after Grizzly Slash, or Crescent Grizzly, rather. So right now, we are in an X5 state where I didn't beat 7 of the bosses and the colony already got shot down, which is super rare. So, that's a thing. Like I said, I'm just going to go for life because I don't feel like looking this up. Someday I'll commit it to memory, but no, I won't. But yeah, it's pretty crazy that happened. Now, maybe I should have gone back through really fast and got the Falcon armor right away. I'll do that after this. Because even at its best odds, it's only a 12% chance that it'll succeed, so I was basically doing it for the chat engagement memes, but then we ended up getting the non-canon route, so, you know, don't get hit by the traps. See, this is another really underrated stage theme, I think. Basically, I feel like what it is X5 has X versus 0, which I'm pretty sure any fan here is willing to agree with me on. Oh, well, I thought I got damage there and I was going to go for the boost. Whoops. Will agree with me that X versus 0 is basically the one-winged angel of the Mega Man series. Like, it's just fucking everywhere. It's, you know, the dramatic battle and all that. But, I think that it being in X5 kind of overshadows all of the other extremely good music that's in this game because everyone just kind of thinks of that. Get out of here. Get out of here. Personally, that's my take on it, at least. Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, God. And it's time for the worst possible version of the spiral staircase perspective. Why? Why in God's name? Why would you ever? Like, this is one of the most visually offensive things in the entire franchise. Which I know is an ice-cold take, but good lord. Make some noise, why not? I always really liked these guys visually. I think this is a neat mini-boss. I really like this level, except for this background. I think the laser laboratory is one of the more interesting locations. Although I will say it does drag a little bit. But yeah, no worry. Go move those cars. No worry. Singular, I guess. I will almost certainly still be playing by the time you get back. X5 is relatively slow, and I'm going to do another couple weird things. Oh, but I get to do this again. It's funny every time. Oh. Simple pleasures. One of the Counter Hunter stages from X2 visually. Which one? Now I'm curious. None of those seem particularly rough to me, but I think that's also just because I'm like, oh my good god, I know. I'm just gonna... Such a weird arbitrary weakness for these things is Grizzly's weapon. We're almost there on Falcon, which I'm just going to use to invalidate the rest of these stages. And look like a pretty cool bird. That. I think this is also one of the ones that, like, kind of feels the most like an older, kind of traditional X stage to me, too. It doesn't feel like a lot of the PS1 era ones take place inside buildings. I don't know if that's just me or not, but it seems like there's a lot of, like, you're on ships or, like, in caves. Or, like, you know, mergers of the two. I guess Arctic Base, like, Frost Walrus is kind of... But the fact that, like, this one actually has, like, a visual narrative to it, like, you're infiltrating Shining Firefly's personal laboratory, and, like, all of the stuff is naturally geared towards him because it is his place, and not just, like, you know, a hideout or something like that. Seem to have been infected by the virus. Feeling an urge to attack you. See, this is also what... God, like, I can't believe some people defend, to a degree anyway. Let's know why I was looking for Flash Stopper. Or Darkhold, rather. A lot of people defend X's redub in Maverick Hunter X as being understandable why he's so aggressive, because they're like, all his allies, and like, of course it makes sense that he's at the breaking point. And it's like, no, X's whole character is that he is so relentlessly positive that it is almost a fault of his. Like, he doesn't want to fight anybody at any point. He's sorrowful for everyone and constantly talks about how he, like, mourns having to fight his enemies. Like, even when they're antagonistic and not infected. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is literally... That's not wrong. That's like half a joke, but that is why he's B rank. So, you hear people be like, oh, you know, it makes sense that he's gonna, like, super guttural scream at Sigma and be like, that sounds like Maverick talk to me and stuff like that. It's like, in this whole game, and like in X7, there's a whole bunch of examples of him being like, I don't want to fight anybody, let's just, you know, deal with this another way, please. So it's like, did you read any of the dialogue in any of the other games? Like, it's fine if you want to be like, you know, more in favor of like an action hero type guy, but that's not this character, and that should be okay. It's also why Zero's so cool, because he just wants to go in and fight like a man. Alright, well, Addy, you missed the most boring stage, so, I wouldn't want that. I know, it's Nottle Crab. It's the Nautilus. Haha. You got him. Yeah, I'm just back here to get the armor capsule, because you need his weapon to get it. We were already critical about while you weren't here. But hey, I'll say it again. One of the worst stage designs in the entire series. As someone who loves X5... Yeah, see, like, even you, we're in agreement again, we're sharing the brain cell. It's just, like, it's so unnecessarily slow. And I think what's more frustrating about that is there's other stages in this game, let alone, like, the rest of the series, that have this approaching danger mechanic as a set piece that don't restrict your movement in this way. Yeah, see, you missed that when I initially played it too, is, usually I'm not a huge fan of water stages. I don't think I hate them as much as most people do, but, you know, it's hard to deny that they're really awkward in, you know, most traditional platformers and stuff like that. But in X1 and X2, Launch Octopus and Bubble Crab are both water levels, and they're both two of my favorite levels, like, in the early games. So to have none in 3 or 4, there's kind of, well, 3 kind of has water stages, but they're very small set pieces compared to, like, the rest of their whole levels. Whereas, you know, Octopus and Crab are, like, the whole deal. Then have 0 and 4, and then go to this, is just like, good lord, like, the whole reason I like the water stages in those games is because they don't mess with your movement, they enhance it. Like, they give you the low gravity effects and everything like that. And I think that's really cool. But this one is just like, well, you get kind of slower movement, which, you know, hasn't happened yet before. And also, you get no free use of it anyway. So the fact that you get this cool jump height mechanic stuff is literally pointless. It's baffling. It's a really bad decision. I also don't know if it would bother me quite as much. It would still bother me plenty. But I don't know if it would bother me as much if you either didn't fight the bone. I keep saying it like that I don't know the name. It's the U555, which is also boring, and it's difficult to say, and I hate that. But, the fact that, like, you're stuck dealing with these regenerating parts, and then you fight them at the end is just very arbitrary. Like, at least let me fight it proper the whole time. Like, give me the coelacanth submarine, which Iruka mentioned first, and then we talked about a little bit. Thicket, are you a fan of water stages? There's nothing wrong with that. Like, honestly, I think they can offer a good chunk of additional challenge. I just think more often than not they're a little bit more awkward. But that said, I really like, you know, the Water Temple and Great Bay Temple, which are famously people's least favorites in those games more often than not. And, obviously Ocarina and Majora, but just in case. I hate it. I hate this room. I hate this room. Because if you go too far, you auto-scroll out of it, but you need to be far to do it. It's just awful. Coelacanth. Yeah, wow, that's coelacanth into a coelacanth. And then you have to come back here again to get a heart tank with either, like, one of the special weapons, or the Gaia armor, or the Falcon armor with some good movement. What? Can I damage boost this? Well, no, actually, I don't think I can wall climb those, period. Coelacanth into a coelacanth. I am fucking out here. Part of me almost wants to just do that one again really fast with the Falcon armor to just be done with it. But I also feel like if I don't pace myself, I'll be fucking crazy, so let's not. Let's not and say we did later when we do it again. Let's see. We could theoretically get the hard tank there. No. Let's just go for it. And I'd like to start with my boy, because I'd like to get my boy's weapon. Do that right now comfortably? Yeah, why the hell not? Falcon armor. He's so cool, and I'm not sorry. When I was getting Thunder Tyranno designed, obviously I used him as a reference point, but I made it a point to tell the original artist to, like, not just, like, make it look like he's a palette swap. That was super important on my end, because I didn't want it to feel like, you know, one of those early sprite redraw type characters. And a lot of that came down to, like, his stance and, certain armor placement and stuff like that. There's obviously still a lot of similarities, but there's only so much you can do to a certain degree. Half paying attention if that was actually making me invulnerable to those. This has... So, it's obviously frustrating, but this has some of my favorite Aelia interruption to make fun of. Because it's like, wait, watch out, wait, watch out, wait, watch out for all of this. Like, you know, the volcanic stuff down there. When you go down there, she's going to interrupt you again, like a good 2 times, I think. It's just like, Aelia, please, for the love of God, the lava! Like, just keep going! Yeah, no! Aelia, please! Yeah, please! Oh, man. Funny every time. But I like that, like, this as a set piece I think is really cool. This is one of my favorite takes on a fire stage hazard. It's a shame that it starts out with all of this, the interruptions, but I think the rest of it is a really cool spin on the escape the volcano stuff. It's like an even more perilous version of Flame Stag stage. Like, nope. Oh. No, that's fine. You would not be the first one to do the Guns N' Roses names in here. Tenkai was adamant that we only called Duff McWhalen Duff McWhalen. And that's what we're gonna do. It's weird because, like, I do and don't hate them at the same time. I'm gonna risk it, I'm gonna risk it, I'm gonna risk it, I'm gonna risk it, I'm gonna risk it! Oh god. Okay. But they are, yeah, they're way too silly. And I mean, the certain ones are just like using Duff McWhalen as an example. Duff McWhalen is a very silly name. We're diving. We're X-diving. I will say, though, this is more visually offensive. I appreciate the fact, though, that it's at least, like, kind of a warranted one. Like, your vision would be, like, really fucked up if you were just going through straight magma like this. That's a little fun. Ugh. I do not remember this jump getting me that much trouble. I love, like, the one bomb. It's like, ah! Bye, nerd. That's a good question, actually. It is a little weird that that's the gimmick for that one. It's like, part of the unique design of the ride armors is that they're open canopy. Man, I don't have to. It's like, well, almost. Excuse you. Excuse you. It's time for my boy. The one that they gave, like, criminally the least backstory to. So cool. God damn it. Such a good design. The ones to bring death to the Reploids. So you came here to finish me? Well, I'm ready to fight me. Fight anytime. Soon the Earth will be destroyed. There's nothing to do but fight now. To the death. I like that that's really not too different from his, like, normal dialogue. Alright, Giga attack. I love the Falcon armor movement-wise, but god, its attacks are disappointing. But yeah, like, viscerally, I love his fight. He has a lot of area denial related stuff, and the fact that his impacts, like, shake the entire screen just feels really cool. That's dope. That's dope. All of his tech. It's all good. Totally not biased at all. Also, look at that death face. Ah! Maybe the same manufacturing company made them. Maybe that's it. I actually kind of forgot how similar their stance is when he's in-game. It's just interesting, because he's not usually drawn that way. He's usually a little bit more upright. Yeah, better explain the special weapon system every time. So now, now we can go back and do it again. Oh, actually, wait a minute. I wonder. I might be remembering wrong, but we'll go back to Duff McMillan's last, just to not have to deal with that shit. I'll do individual jump next. In my top 5 favorite stages, where I went out of my way to not repeat on individual games, I actually put this one, I think, number 4? It's definitely up there for me. I love the Guns N' Roses reference, which I know I've talked about at length before. But I don't know, there's just something about this level that I really like. It's one of the few that has... Oh, I completely fucked up and chose the wrong armor, so we're just gonna die real fast. By real fast, I mean getting to a checkpoint with spikes. But yeah, it's got like a branching path, which I think is cool. It's got some neat backgrounds. I like the aesthetic of like mechanical nature kind of merging and taking itself over and everything like that. It's cool. That's why I want to be buried here, apparently. This is a very merciful checkpoint for this. Alright. Have to actually go back to stage selection. Yeah, I don't think Dino Rex ever got even like one of the little rubber collectible guys. I think most of that was like X3, weirdly. Which I still don't really get. Like, it really felt like they made X3 like extra toyetic with like all of the different ride armors and like the alternate coloration of the max armor, and it's really interesting. I wonder how much of that actually does make a difference there design-wise. Also, tell Mabel thank you. I am uncomfortably obsessed with the series. Oh, speaking of, I love that the rosebush fences there have thorns. It's got a barbed wire fence at the top. I've never noticed that until right now, because you got me thinking about deets. And that's delightful. Anyway, here we go. I also really dig the music in this stage, too. But yeah, like, you come up and it's now the mountaintops. I think, where did I find that this one was? Oh, it's Ukraine, actually. I think this area on the map implies that this stage is in Ukraine, like in a mountain range. And I looked that up for said video. It's like, oh yeah, that... I mean, obviously it's not one-to-one, because it's like a fucking Mega Man background detail. But it looks like it could be, and it's actually like a really gorgeous area. And then like back down into the cavern system and everything. This is really good. I'm gonna just take that. I don't know why I'm charging shot energy right now. I'm just gonna falcon along like champs here. I still get sketched out by that though. Every time. There is a way you can do that without the falcon armor, but it's really tricky, and I think only Zero can do it because of the double jump. But it's really hard. Rock my boy's weapon a little bit. Found out that ground fire isn't really the worst weapon. Also, fuck these guys. Like, there's not even a ceiling there for you to be attached to, please. And also, yeah, I just now saw that you mentioned it, but the music here is really solid too. Like the jungle beat, it's really nice. And just look at this fucking guy. Oh right, I like his Maverick dialogue a lot if I'm remembering right. To destroy everyone's in a panic, I assume, and wait, that means we can steal any. I love it. He's just like a fucking like he's glamorous flower jungle control unit, and he's just like, let's go looting. That's interesting. That's actually the most directly confrontational I think X is in any of this dialogue. But it's still also not him being like, I'm gonna fucking shoot you now. It's just like, wow, you're a goon. And I think that's just fine. Can you please? Thank you. Famously, dinosaurs hate flowers, you see. Oh, right, I can't charge special weapons with Falcon armor. That's right. It's really interesting that he gets easier in that last phase. Just because his pattern changes up to be a little bit more cheesable. I don't know if there's an official record of it anywhere, but the way his lore is written in the wiki is that he was like the nature control unit for the jungle. Like he wasn't even technically a Reploid outright. And he like merges with some kind of other mechanical device and like mutates. So he's like a quote unquote like naturally occurring evolutionary Reploid, and I think that's really cool if it's true. But it's also really easy to just like, yeah, he's totally that. I made it up. Trust me. But her dialogue there is kind of implicitly saying it a tiny bit too. It's the whole theme of that level is how like nothing is free from technology in this universe anymore. Like even just regular trees are like rooted into it. Oh, Dynamo. Worry about the Falcon armor for him. I straight up don't remember what his weakness weapon is. But I'm not super worried about it. We'll experiment a little bit. Oh, interesting. It's not the shuttle bay. Yeah, a neon, that checks out. I think that's accurate. Just dodge right into that one. It's not that. Not that. God damn it. It's not that. I see. Weak to crescents. That's interesting. I don't know. I guess you could sort of justify it. I've taken a lot more damage than I should be. And I don't want to redo it, so there you go. I wonder if maybe their justification for that weakness weapon is that it's a projectile slash, so it's a combination of X and Zero, and that's what he is supposed to be, more or less? Because he also has the Buster Saber combo. Kind of out of place in this game. In what way do you mean? I'm curious. Ruka, you missed the second Dynamo beatdown. Also, I think you returned from the parking lot if what you were saying is true earlier. Oh, well. Excellent. I'm glad you saw my shameful sub-tank usage. Okay, so good. Falcone. And that's fair. I mean, Iruka was mentioning that he's kind of like, or actually, maybe it was you. Somebody mentioned that he's basically like an anime rival, and I kind of get that as a critique. I really like Dynamo, like a lot, but I do kind of understand that. Like, he is a little bit more overtly shonen-y than I think most Mega Man stuff tends to be. And yeah, okay, that was you. That slow down. Sketchy. Oh my god. I don't know if I have ever played this stage without the Falcon Armor before. I do know, though, that one playthrough, because those like constellation spawns are somewhat randomized, I had spikes land on the platform, and I basically had to die. Because they actually traveled with it, which kind of caught me off guard. I really didn't expect them to do that. I think that's good now. It is. Yeah, it was really bad RNG. Has to be in everything part of what I am a rival. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about, Iruka. Like how he's not really fully a match. Maybe. Like, just totally outclassed. Would like to refill that shame tank. Eh. To pop this one for that heart tank. Ugh. There we go. It's just like this horrible gauntlet of things that the Falcon Armor is just like, give one shit. Now, let's see if we can nail this Nikita in one run. Just doesn't care. Rival keeps acting like battles man. Yeah, see, that's kind of what I like about Dynamo. Like, he isn't that way. He's following his orders up until it is no longer convenient for him. He recognizes the fact that he can't win and opts to spare his own life by not fighting for no reason because battle isn't his life. He's just kind of in it for the fun. And I think that's really cool, because for pretty much the exact reason you're saying, that's not a thing that happens very often. Ugh, God. 1 second. Oh my god! Oh boy. Ugh, worst in a while. Very glad they had the foresight to give you those spikes there. Yeah, I like that you, yeah, you were in the middle of explaining it too. Sorry, I'm just gonna give myself some quiet time. Oh my god. There we go. God, that's a pain in the ass. Probably because they knew the Gaia arm was too good. It's always interesting seeing my my little avatar doing some talking from background noise, and I can never quite tell what it is because it's not like the squeaks from my chair usually or anything like that. Speaking of squeaks, it's so goofy that he does that. It's supposed to be this like cool debonair vampire bat, and they gave him that dialogue. It's like, oh, all right, so goofy, so good. I found out somewhat recently that the contrail damages him, which I didn't actually know, and I think that's really neat. Granted, my placement for it's not being the best right now. I wish you could just, like, do a direct turnaround, because I keep instinctively trying to do that. It's not working for me, but there's a neat version of that weapon mechanic. I also very distinctly remember, like, one of my core memories involving Necrobat are that for a really long time there was a really popular custom sprite edit of X from the PS1 games that was bitten by Necrobat, and they like give him like a whole little animation sheet that I never actually saw animated, but it's like clear that somebody did it for like a project or something like that, where he like grows the vampire bats and turns into like Vampire X, and it's like it's really easy to kind of tease that, but at the same time, it's like, you know what, that's some cool editing. You didn't do a bad job of that. I wonder if I can still find it, because that was like that had to have been in high school. That was like Bob and George era stuff. Yeah, betray his batty nature, you're right. Gotta squeak. It's very important. Hey, did you guys know that you can get a special weapon every time you defeat a boss? Directly associated with Sigma, so that's kind of neat. Of course, his bat can only make evil-looking Mavericks. Alternative to, in the end, I had to dispose of Scaravich. Yeah, I like that backstory, but I am really curious how much of that is lost in translation. Like, I know that she's involved with Wolfang and Scaravich in those cases. So there's an achievement for getting all these. Let me feel like an optimal. Maybe charge. Oh, right, I can't charge weapons, so. suppose I could always go with that, see if it helps. Oh, already failed. God, that's dumb. Like, you just hitch once and it's immediately over. Depending on time remaining, I might come back and try this one again. Yeah, that one sucks. I think that one I might have to do time stop for. I suppose I should have checked to see if I can do that. Sorry, the terrible dog is my fault. I think it's less that she felt any, like, direct responsibility for how Gates Reploids were, and more that it was supposed to be a dichotomy of, like, Gate didn't follow anybody's orders and Aelia did almost to a fault, and she regretted that. And I think that's neat from, like, an exploratory perspective. But I don't know if it's translated great, is the main thing. Laziest capsule location. Yeah, the fact that oh, okay, that's right. I forgot that was a thing for this. The fact that Pegasus is Repliforce and actually, like, has that as part of his and love. It's just too fast for you, sir. I'm moving at too high a speed. I do really like that. The fact that they maintained it. It's a very good way to reuse assets. This will be my chance to see if I can pause the bomb timers. Background of that. It looks like mushrooms? It doesn't look like technology. It does. I'll take it. Eagle! Never noticed that either. There's insufficient support side stories. It'd be cool. Oh, yeah. I can agree with that. I mean, the Wily Zero thing becomes even more frustrating for me on top of that, because that's a good observation for sure. I mention this to Neon constantly, but it really bothers me that the X series just becomes the Zero show featuring X. You're the one who killed the General. I'll kill you to avenge his death. Oh, I appreciate the layers of that. Like the fact that, technically X doesn't. General sacrifices himself. And that could be attributed to him either not knowing that or being so far gone Maverick-wise that he, you know, doesn't remember or doesn't accept it or whatever else. That's a cool little side bit. It's just like bullies the absolute hell out of me too. I'm really terrible at this fight. This is funny. Ah, you dick. Oh, fell right into it. I feel like X being the neutral mask in this case, since now I'm not in the boss fight, I'm catching up on that. Um, I would be more willing to buy that if he didn't actually get chunks of character and has like a lot of writing about his, worries and his, desperate want to be a pacifist and all that. Like, those aren't typical neutral mask things. Like, usually if you're talking about something like that, you'd be talking about, like Link or, Gordon Freeman maybe, even though there's like a lot of weird backstory concerning him, where you are just kind of present and there's not a lot of like characterized dialogue or anything like that. But like X is very much supposed to be a certain way. And like that's consistent even early on. And you do get the whole like, you're growing like Zero does in the first game and like everybody knows that and it's whatever. But I don't think that's consistent enough to call him like a full-on neutral mask type character. And granted, I'm biased, he's my favorite character, but like, I think there is just objectively enough dialogue in place to kind of go against that enough. I forgot how fast he gets. I really need you to just get on the ground for like a second. Please? I'm begging you. There we go. Really forgot how quickly Darkhold burns through that ammo. Doesn't matter, got him. Western neutral mass, different, Yeah, well, I also think a lot of the problem, too, I get what you're saying to a degree, but I think a lot of it is also born out of the fact that there aren't a lot of, like, action games from the era that, Mega Man transitioning into X really went through and, like, committed to a story, Like, it's definitely present in games in general. Like, I'm definitely not going to say that, that kind of focus on narrative didn't exist yet by, like, 93. But I do feel like, for the most part, it's a very dialogue minimal game and series and all that, up until now, more or less. Yeah, that's the main important thing. Neon knows what's up. I like the part where Sigma goes, hee hee hee. Okay, we're through all of that. I'm gonna go do some collection with my absolute boy, my precious treasure. In a weird way, I love the Shadow Armor too a lot. I think it's great. It's one of my favorites. But in a lot of ways, I kind of don't know how I feel about the fact that they like opted to quote unquote like fix the parts of the Gaia armor that were quote unquote broken, like the fact that it's slower and has like limited range and everything. That to me kind of feels like it misunderstands the whole idea of like, well, it's supposed to be, you know, a trade-off. Like you're losing the ability to use special weapons, but you're, you know, immune to spikes, and you're like really, really strong. You get like the instantaneous charge time and everything. Though also, I guess I don't have to keep playing this stage. Yeah, that's a very good point. It defeats X's longest running rival. Yeah, that's the other thing too. Like I love the shadow armor and all that. I don't mind the no weapons thing because it feels like you're trading off to become like this light infiltrator. But also, like if I were to pick any one complaint I have with it, it's the fact that you can cling to ceilings and dash on ceilings, but the stages are so disjointed that there's never really a good opportunity to use that in a cool way. It's just kind of like you can do it, but it doesn't matter really. And like that super bummed me out. Grab the heart tank here. Oh, right. That time I straight up actually wasn't paying attention because of chat. Oops. I at least appreciate the fact that the Gaia armor explains the loss of special weapon usage because it's highly experimental. Like Dr. Light's AI literally says that. But yeah, Shadow Armor has less of an excuse outside of it becoming like that archetypal version of it. Like it is the Gaia armor of that game, and the Gaia armor didn't have that as a balancing point, so neither does the Shadow armor because reasons. That was close. I'm remembering my damage charts right, too. The uncharged shots are pretty much... They're either identical to or remarkably similar to the charge shot, strength-wise. So the strength of the charge shot is just that it's really, really wide. I think that's kind of neat, too. I also just really like the fact that the Falcon armor and the Gaia armor are the jet adapter and the power adapter from Mega Man 6. Which is, like, clearly meant to be another, hey, this is supposed to be the end of the series cool reference thing. Like, I think that's really, really neat. And I don't feel like people talk about that very often. Oh, you're done. Ugh! I will say, I like backtracking. I don't mind when Mega Man games encourage that, because it gives you more game, but I think a lot of it is pretty sloppy in, like, how much of this one kind of requires what feels like a pretty arbitrary amount of, like, hey, do these extremely slow puzzles again. Like, if this was just a level, I wouldn't mind. But it's not just a level, it's a level where you have to do this shit. It's like, please, just, like... Can all the doors be unlocked because he's gone now? Like, why do I have to do this again? Why do I have to do the U555 segment again? Like, why do I have to do this again? You're gonna fucking... God! Ugh! And also, just the proportions and the hitboxes of everything in the PS1 era games bother me so much. Like, I feel like I keep jumping past that corner, and yet I failed it, like, 5 times in a row. Please just go. Please just go. God, Jesus. It's been an embarrassingly long amount of time. At least this one I can just fucking do this. Ugh. It's one harder, but another easier. think if I'm remembering right, this will just maintain itself as open until I leave, which is at least nice. They had the level where it's clearly designed for the shadow armor. You only get it if you're... Oh, yeah. The Rainy Turtleoid section, I'm assuming you're talking about, where you have to, like, sneak through the little tight holes that are just, like, completely covered in spikes, but that's where you get one of the shadow armor pieces, so it doesn't fucking matter at all. I got really good at that section because of 100%ing X6, but it doesn't really make it feel better. Oh, yeah. Well, actually, I have trained myself to go through those stages only shadow armor, and I'm really proud of that. Because you can do it, it's just really hard because of the movement. You need to get certain parts. Actually, I think somebody just recently discovered a way to do it without any armor or parts at all, which is insane if that's true. But I don't know anything about that, and I probably wouldn't try. But that said, doing Sigma, like fighting Sigma as the shadow armor, is a joke. Like, I actually forgot how decently hard that, like, final Sigma fight hits, the big Hopper Terminator body. But if you use the shadow armor Giga attack, the Crescents, he dies in like 3 hits. It's insane how weak he is to it. It's like it was designed to be his weakness weapon. And I don't know if that was an oversight or if it's an intentional, like, okay, we know you can get here's the shadow armor, but we also know it's really hard, so you probably won't, so here's a reward for it. But it's a really interesting situation that way. One stage where there's so many spikes, places to grip. Oh, I might know what you're talking about. Are you talking about the museum? Because the museum is just random. That's the only thing I can think of that has, like, different triggers and stuff like that. It is a Sigma stage. I don't remember any randomized elements that depend on going in with a specific armor, but I might just be wrong. So that's an interesting thought. I also think I just did this wrong. I can get the Heart Tank as Gaia armor. But I think I also wanted to see which weapon opened it, but I'm also not gonna fucking do that. I'd rather just go through his Gaia armor and, like, flatten the boat, so... Kind of zoned out there for a second. I'm deeply invested in these conversations. How dare you be a stimulating chat. And by chat right now, I mostly mean Aruka, but that's fine. One thing I will be doing in this run, though, is getting through the security beam portion as Gaia armor, because that's one of my favorite things to do in the Zero stage. It'll take me a couple tries because I'm out of practice with it. And if it ends up going on, like, prohibitively long, I'll probably call it just because, you know, there is a time limit to the stream, but... Also, I wanna. Yeah, there's also the nightmare effects, too. I don't remember off the top of my head, which is really bad because I defend 6 enough. Where I feel like I should know off the top of my head what you're talking about. There's also the Nightmare Mother boss, which I think is pretty horrendously designed as far as like difficulty and fairness goes. Just gonna hang out here for a moment. Jesus, it's getting so close. So, not that I'll ever defend any portion of X-Dive, because I won't, because it's awful. But I will say it was really funny doing the PvP with the Gaia armor. I think most people kind of expected it to not be as disgustingly overpowered and like feature creep, power creep unbalanced as some of the other ones where it's like, you could shoot like infinite homing lasers through walls and like this one's a super screen clearing technique and stuff. You get that Giga attack as one of his abilities. And it stacks damage so quickly, and it's so like gigantically wide that my strategy when I was still trying to grind it to kind of like go through and, you know, earn my hating that game. At this point I don't play it anymore because I just won't subjugate myself to it anymore. But my strategy for PvP was to just stand in my spawn point and wait for the opponent to run over to me, and as soon as they were within range, clearly thinking I was AFK, I would just tap that button and instantly kill them from half a screen away with like the big slow green Gaia shot. And there was just nothing they could do about it, because if I could see them from spawn, it would kill them like 99% of the time. It's like, God, this game is like so badly designed. So funny. But now I'm also used to it being way bigger than that, so I'm gonna keep missing. Also, thank you for the sand. Also, yeah, Myth, I know how much of a fan you are of this wonderful, wonderful level design. So there's a weapon that you can use to destroy that block. I know Zero's is the rising weapon, which in this one is electricity, which is stupid. I mean, it's a cool attack, but it's stupid that it destroys the block. Like, it's definitely a matter of like, well, it has to go up, because that's where we put it. So I guess this is the weapon that it's gonna be compatible with. And we never have to come back here again. Okay, so left half is done. I want to say right half is done too. But I want to see if I can deal with the time bombs this time. And I'm going to do that with the fourth armor, because the wider shot will make it easier to hit, and I now also know that I can use the Dark Hold. Come on, game, you're killing me here with this fucking menu lag. So those ones are good. This one is going to be the next pain. I am so glad they gave those things less health in this. No, 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 no! Oh my god! Alright, so that's those. Now we only have to deal with the elevator shaft ones. I know, I love that it's named Tri-Thunder, which is X3, even though Triad Thunder, which I think is a way cooler name. But then, it's also Thunderbeam from Mega Man 1. It's just like a whole pile. it's just, it kills me. Like, why would you not? What is the threat here? I know, Sigma's trying his best. Out here doing what he can. Alright, so we got that bomb. Yet it took them so long to get us a junk ability. No, and X2. Silk Shot would be Dust Crusher. It's my second favorite weapon in the entire series. Yeah! Got it. There's nothing else that I need to collect here, so we're just out of here. It's not even walk for your lives. I love it. It's just like, stand still! Its vision is based on movement. Okay, so we got that. That's why I like Silk Shot so much, because it isn't always junk. That might be why you forgot about that. Okay, so I'm pretty positive that's everything. And okay, I was remembering this correctly, so I can just do this without any kind of equipped parts. Just good. I already have a bunch of the medals for this. I did a playthrough already. Also, that's not even what I mean. Silk Shot takes on the properties of the stages that you're in, and it makes it do different stuff depending on where you are, which is really, really cool. Yeah, I figured you did know that, but I felt like I had to point it out just in case. I am going to focus. In fact, I'm actually going to even move closer to my TV, because doing this with the Gaia armor is really difficult. So first part's done. This is a checkpoint. Can outrun all of the Zero viruses, so there's no harm there. I'm just going to damage boost through the guys because they're objectively the only threats. And then this is going to take some wall cling jumps to do correctly, so just bear with me. I apologize how quiet this is going to be, and it's probably going to take me a good couple of tries. Ah, fuck that. I have to jump off of that top part of that stairway one. It's that middle portion is like really what tripped me up when I do this. But I promise you it'll be worth it. Overshot that. Mercifully, this is the checkpoint, so even if I game over here, it does not matter. I effectively have unlimited continues for this. Ah! Clicking to the wall is also much more of an issue than you might think. Which you will afterwards, because it's going to keep happening. If you dash jump there, you get just a tiny bit more speed. But then the trick is not clinging to the wall on the way down when you turn. Ah! I actually didn't think I was going to get that quickly that time. So I didn't hit confirm it. Ah, that time it wasn't a problem. I like that zero virus theory. I think I told you about it maybe in other messages, but I have a Sigma Maverick Wiley connection theory that I'm really into. That I want to make like a video essay on at some point. That I would love to talk about right now. When I get to the actual boss of this area, that's I can bring it up then. That's a good one. Ah. Guy, And yeah, it's definitely some energy resources going on there. I mean, look, it's the same color and everything. Oh, well, that's a bad one. Excuse me. The Gaia armor is outstanding. This is a fun handicap run. It's only because of the limited movement. This is honestly the only stage that, like, really does the Gaia armor dirty. Ah! Dicks! Also, yeah, like, the fact that this is what they went with, it's like, oh, get it, it's a Mega Man Classic reference. Like, yeah, but it's the worst one, and 90% of players are just gonna skip it with time stop, so, like, I get the reference. But also, don't. Like, don't do that. God. Can't believe Games Freak is coming here just to personally attack me. And getting closer. Yeah, Heatman is a really good pull for that, like, K. But yeah, like, there's just something like, I think it's less that Quickman's is really bad and more that it's really infamous. Damn it. And again, it, like, really, I understand that, like, the whole of Mega Man is, you know, figuring out, like, weaknesses and strategies for things using special weapons. But when the special weapon solution to the security beams in Quickman and, you know, intentionally this and everything is more or less just like, and then you can skip it, is like, well then, what's the point? No, there's no achievement for doing this, I just like doing it this way. Because I prefer fighting Black Devil with this armor. It's a lot easier on my thumbs. Although now that you mention it, I'm kind of surprised there's not an achievement for doing this way. I think this one's done. Ah, it wasn't done. That said, if this takes, I'll give myself one more set of lives after this one if I don't get there, especially because I just cocked that up. Then I'll just swap. Because even though I enjoy this, it's definitely not going to be fun to keep watching it for much longer. That is not my goal here. Ooh, I think I'm fucked. Yeah. This is the last settlement for it. I need to start with 2. We'll play it by ear, but probably. Ah, damn. And I can read that in Rita's voice, by the way. I am checking in every death. I'm doing my best. Yeah, man, it needs the dash jump because it gets the friction off the ground. But you also can't jump too high, otherwise you take too long to land safely. It's a really precise thing. I also feel bad. Like, the last time I did this, I did it in like my 3rd try. So I was really kind of hoping that I'd finally internalize this a little more. Okay, more. But it seems like I haven't. Granted, I am also very tired from working like 127 hours last week. Or last 2 weeks, rather. God! I'm not committing to the jump there, and it's really fucking me. Messed up my distance. Okay, this is the last try. I promise. Yeah. Yeah, stream anxiety is honestly probably part of it. It's like, hey, let me show you this really cool thing, and then it doesn't work because people are watching. That said, I'm gonna do this with, yeah, I don't want to deal with a narrow hitbox and all that. It's almost frustrating how much easier it is this way. Okay, fine. Use the actual spectral weapon. I kind of wanted to see if I could style on it just like the first try, but that's fair, I suppose. Oh, damn it. I didn't actually equip the special weapon this time. Oh man, I'm an idiot. My brain is fried. I don't know how I feel about that either, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. The fact that, like, Flash Stopper goes off right away. And this one you get like a little flourish first. It's like, work, if you're gonna do this reference. Oh my god, I'm just gonna keep fucking it up in general. I think this is the worst level in X5. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I am admittedly out of practice doing straight without the the Falcon armor and just kind of like cheesing it that way. Oh, Jesus, I'm so not used to that. But I feel like even using some kind of cheese in this stage, it's still really, really unnecessarily difficult. And then the boss just, like, sucks. That is what, like, legitimately the boss is why I like doing this as the Gaia armor. It's wildly frustrating without it. This whole portion, which is weirdly not that bad with the Gaia. And then all that. Like, it's really just that, the cornering stuff that really fucks with it. Yeah, like, I don't know, it's not a very fun level. And then you get stuck with this. Sorry about the audio. Yeah, like, I don't know, it's weird because that part is the easiest part, but a lot of the stuff that was giving me difficulty was only giving me difficulty because of, like, the lower movement speed and wall clinging. But it makes this fight worth it. So the reason I prefer doing this in Games Freak, I know you already know this because you've seen me do the Let's Play before, you can just cling in this corner, and you don't have to worry about taking, like, any damage from the devil at any point. And doing this way is a lot easier and safer for me, but it's really, really hard on my hands. And you also, like, out-damage him a lot quicker, too, with the Gaia armor, because the charge shot is so fast. Sorry, I actually kind of have to concentrate when I do that speed mash. It's just like, this is such a grueling fight. And it's, like, I don't know, I get the reference, but it's just not fun. Like, I appreciate the legacy of the devil bosses, but I don't really enjoy them that much. It just does so much contact damage and is so shitty at memorizing the pattern. And that's definitely my fault, but, like, I don't know, like, you have such a limited window of opportunity to even hit him more than once. Just is. It's not good. I think there is a mod for this one. I know there's a mod for 6, and I really want to try that. Damn it. Ah, my hand is, like, really starting to cramp up here. Oh, for God's sake. You are killing me right now. I think, like, literally, like, this just... Yeah, and, like, it sucks because, again, on paper, I get why they're doing this here, because it's supposed to be the finale and the amalgamation of, like, the Wily thing, even though they don't really capitalize on it very much. But then, like... And this isn't to say that I dislike Lambda Bamda, Rangda Bangda, like the room bosses, but the fact that they have the devil boss for nostalgia, but then the Sigma referential boss in the next stage is Rangda Bangda, doesn't really feel as iconic in any way, so it's definitely like they had at least one portion of an idea, but like didn't really go the whole way with it. Oh my god! It's just like, even doing this well, it takes so long. It's not even really that it's unbad. Like, it is unbad. I definitely don't disagree with it, but it's like, it's just so... And then you hit this phase, and you have to, like, wait for the animations to sync up. Like, right now, my my left thumb hurts hitting, like, holding the D-pad, because I'm just, like, mashing it in to make sure I don't make any fucking mistakes. Okay, good, now we're, like, on the easier portion. This hits really hard. No, okay, cool, cool. Good. Cool, good. Cool, good, thanks for reading that input. Cool and good, thank you. Thank you so much. God, this is, think I would have been better off just continuing. Oh, man, my whole arm is sore. Honest to God, if this doesn't work again, I might go back through and try doing it with the fucking Guy armor again. Because what am I? Is that? That's, yeah, this is my last life. I think I am gonna do that. Oh, God. God's sake, like, it's the same weakness, so haha, I get it, but, like, it's way thinner, and his eye moves, sometimes it's at the wrong height, and it's random, so you don't know where you need to shoot it every time, and you panic, and you hit flinch. Just abject misery. And I'm hot, and I'm tired. I want an ice cream. No, I haven't tried mashing select. That would honestly, like, maybe they did do that on purpose. Maybe that's a reference. It isn't. But, hey, why the hell not? Let's, I might as well try, huh? No, definitely. Would have been nice. I don't think you can time stop him. I think time stop only works on bosses that are weak to it. For exactly that reason. But I'll try. In fact, yeah, let me... Yeah, no. It'd certainly be nice. Oh, yeah. That's also fair. Yeah, I think I am just gonna swap. Or, well, yeah, God, the reason I don't usually do the charge shots is because of the wall clinging, but I don't really need to worry about that here. I can turn on auto. Yeah, you know what? This boss fight doesn't deserve actual gameplay as soon as I'm safe to pause. Go ahead and do that real fast. Excuse you? Is it because I have a special weapon something? That, like, really kind of doesn't help that much. They also really could have chosen a better song, too. Like, the devil theme is obviously classic, and it's obviously what would go with it. But, like, remix it so that it's a longer loop, maybe? Please? I'm begging? I'm begging you? Yeah, you're right. After the, audio poison is a really good way to put it. And I love, like, this just makes him instantly easier, because he has more openings. Oh, really? You're gonna make me a liar? Alright. Just gotta fuck with the audio one more time, huh? Really? Like, you couldn't let me get one more hit in, huh? Oh, God. I think this is the only fight in the entire series that is, like, actually physically exhausting for me. I am so sorry for dying once. Like, even that is way too much. Jesus. There we go. Thank you, Myth. Extremely helpful there. It's like half the run right there. Jesus. Just save. Okay. Just gonna kind of give myself a fucking breather really fast. Go to my actual boy. Feel better about myself. I'm keeping auto charge on because I earned it. Damage boost. Hey, get it? It's the opening to Sigma Stage 1! But, like, it isn't... This didn't synchronize right, so I gotta wait 2 cycles, because it's not as good as this opening stage! At least we get to go right back to, like, one of the best themes, or stage themes in the game. It really does say a lot about the stage designs in these portions where I would rather just damage boost and, like, take my chances. The cyberspace aesthetic also really doesn't help because there's, like, not a lot of meaningful landmarks to kind of know how far along you are at any point. Already done with that. Dip over here real quick, get that full refill. And then completely body this. Yeah, like, these levels really do. And it sucks because, like, I like portions of them. I think the idea is vaguely neat, but it also really feels bizarre to me that their whole, like, okay, what are we going to do with the storyline? It's like, I don't know, Space Colony opens cyberspace, like, virus stuff. It's very bizarre. But yeah, Gaia Armor bodies bosses. It is so completely worth it to run in any boss fight. It's just disgusting how powerful it is. Which is exactly why I wanted it for the, for Black Devil. Because you can do the same thing. And also, yeah, Games Freak, that's not really the worst way to put that. Like, they definitely wanted them to be challenging, they definitely wanted to give them some kind of a motif, but they kind of, like, did it wrong both ways. I am so upset I couldn't do that for Black Devil. I'm so mad. And yeah, it is really weird that they, like, Egyptian overhaul him. I know, the Angel and Demon thing is, like, one of the most confusing things there. Do I want to get the Ultimate Armor? That said, Uruka, I pretty much agree with everything you were saying in regards to the gate stages. It's weird because, like, I want to defend them. I think there is an achievement, but I can't remember if I got it already. I did just save. I guess I could menu out and check, but also, I don't care. I just want to Gaia body everything. Fuck it. There actually is an achievement for what I did in the Lambda Banda fight, though, where if you stand on the spikes as the Gaia armor, and it doesn't kill you because it's the Gaia armor, the achievement is called "The Trick Is Not Caring," and I think that's funny. Zero, get ready to get decked! Games Freak, I totally agree with that. Like, that's the main thing. There's certain people, and I won't criticize them too much for this, like, over time I've softened on my position on X7 this way, but there's people that will go out of their way to say that X6 is worse than X7, which I completely disagree with just foundationally. But even considering the bads and the goods, one of the ways that I'll always describe that to people is if you strip away the weird gimmicks from X6, then you get a normal X game that should have like pretty largely solid mechanics and everything. But if you strip away the bad stuff, like the weird gimmicky stuff from X7, you still have a game that just doesn't play very well. And, like, it's just so fundamentally different and broken that, again, even without, like, the bad voice acting and the nightmare, or the rescue Reploid system and X not being available right away, like, if you just take it and be like, here's the game with nothing else attached to it, the game isn't really that fun. And granted, you can balance pass a lot of that. I'm sorry, I'm just damage racing them. Okay, punch Zero in the face. I don't know why that didn't work the first time. That's always how I fight him there. But yeah, that's that for me. Like, the fact that X7 is just, like, so foundationally broken is really what fucks it up, in my opinion. But that said, like, the Nightmare Phenomenon and the bad translations and the difficult level designs in X7 or X6 really do suck. And that's coming from someone who really likes X6. I'm glad everybody knows about the... So there you go. That should be another, whenever I get monetization, like donate bits to do blank or channel points or whatever, I want to have Flame Hyanard burn to the ground as an incentive reward for that. And I should have G as one too, like the zero G. I just need to get up to 50 subs or followers. I keep mixing those two up for Twitch. But once that happens, I'll actually hit, associate or whatever the fuck the low tier you can get paid for doing this is, and then I can use bits for stuff, channel points, because I don't expect anybody to pay me for this shit. I couldn't even do my cool speedrunning trick with the Gaia armor. I'm not very good at video games. Also, goddamn right. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Aruka. Perfect. Also, this stage background sucks. It's so dumb. Like, I like this music, genuinely. I think this is a pretty good track. But, like, this is such a stupid level. So visually noisy. The fact that it moves. It's like everything that I criticized about Final Weapon's background. Like, not properly animating or anything. But made even worse with, like, transparent layers and, like, flashing colors, and it's just... weird-ass disco space. Yeah, that too. I think you were away when I said that last time, but I think it was Neon asked how I felt about the level system. It was Neon or Myth. Um, and it really is just like, Jesus, this just takes so... I think my biggest individual complaint with X5 as a game is how often it just makes you wait for no reason. And people will obviously point at Alia's messaging, and she's guilty of that, but there's been so little of the dialogue through this back half, and I'm still like, I'm dealing with the U555, and I'm dealing with like these fucking refights taking forever, and I'm dealing with like waiting for the Black Devil, and just like all of this stuff that's just like designed to just be punishing your time usage. Also, yeah, we had a very deep conversation, but I think he understood my point. I'm sorry. I see the error of my ways, I'm gonna be a good guy now! It's canon, you all heard it. It does force you to see the boss's whole attack pattern, but I feel like that was never a huge issue in previous games, which makes me think that they kind of artificially extended it. It's tricky. Like, this is so many charge shots. Like, no other bosses in the series would be able to take that level of punishment outside of, like, final bosses and shit. No, please don't! Oh my god. Upset. I'm gonna take care of him first. I think it'd be a nice side benefit if, I guess just for this one boss fight, X got thrown much less because of how heavy the Gaia armor is. Oh, really? Look at his health bar! Fuck. Get out of here! Jesus. Honestly, I feel like with how long Black Devil takes, he might as well be. I know he's not, and I know it could be worse, but, like, good lord. What do you mean? He's not a weird puppy? I thought that was the whole point. See, this fight I really like with the Gaia armor because it, like, turns into this whole thing of spacing and, like, managing your jumps back and forth. I think it's really cool. actual satisfying movement. I think with a little bit less health and like this type of boss fight, I would be a lot more forgiving of these refights being like ratcheted up health-wise. Like this feels like showcasing the whole pattern in a good way. Like that turns into like an actual skill-based battle and not just like this weird war of attrition damage racing bullet sponge bullshit. The horses on this planet are terrifying. Yeah, you're not wrong. It's more like I actually had to. It wasn't that it was difficult. It was that it was like movement satisfaction, like getting to like shoot at the apex of my wall jumps and stuff like that is more what I'm talking about. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm saying it's better than the fucking Spiral Pegasus fight. If I had to take one example, like that would kind of be it. There's also not a lot of downtime either, and again, a lot of these bosses are guilty of having like big periods where you just can't damage them. Do they really like? That's so boring. Like it sucks because like, yeah. It wouldn't be. It's obviously not an enjoyable speedrun to watch because, like, even I'm sitting here playing it and I'm like, wow, this takes way too long. So I get that, but at the same time, it's like, well, yeah, if you just use the instant win button, it's gonna be like, what the hell's the point at that point? But that's also how I feel about like Out of Bounds and stuff like that. So it's whatever. It's not the worst. And in this particular instance, I cannot say that I blame them. God, he's teleporting too much. Oh, hey, Rika, thank you. Actually, didn't realize that didn't already happen, but I do not hold that against you. It just means we got to see the fun little cut-in more than once. Is this your first time watching? I thought you popped in for one other for some reason. It doesn't matter either way. But, I don't know, like, I see what you mean about the speedrun thing, but at the same time, like, to me, that's what, like, an ideal viewing experience for a speedrun is like all the execution, so like the mechanical skill being there. Like one of my all-time favorite Mega Man speedruns was, I think 3 years ago now, they did Mega Man 11 with no bugs or anything, so they had to go through, every stage, get every special weapon. There wasn't any, like, stage skipping or anything. And the way they, like, execute gameplay in that run is really cool, because that game introduces the weapon wheel for swapping, so you don't have to worry about a linear order. You can swap between very specific weapons at any given time, and like some of them have like really good wide attack coverage, and then the pile driver weapon has an air dash mechanic. So there's this constant game of like swapping and doing all of these like really cool high level precision moves, and it looks super cool. And then, you go to the classic ones, it's like, I know how to zip through a wall, so you just don't do anything. It's like, okay, that is faster, and it takes technical knowledge of the game, and I get those things, but, like, it's more boring visually to watch. Like, for the most part, if you're just saying, like, and then I don't have to play the game, it's like, okay, well then, I don't know. I think you get what I mean a little bit. And yeah, I was going to mention the cyber dirt, so thank you for calling that out. See, now imagine this myth, and I guess everybody, where using their weakness weapons gives them such long invulnerability frames and like weakness animations. Like, part of the reason I like using the Gaia armor for this isn't just because it hits like a dump truck. It's because they have like next to no like immunity phases to it. You just keep pouring damage on them. And the weakness weapons in this game, like using Wind Spiral against Dino Rex, he goes into like a 2-second animation where nothing happens for like, 2 seconds. Every time you hit him with it, and it doesn't do that much damage. So it's just like, God, it's such a slog. Like, doing it this way, there's a little bit of peril because, I'm just damage racing them, and that's a choice, and the fact that I'm just bad at dodging, and I always have been. But it's also just better. Like, the damage output is just better most of the time. Tidal Whale being an exception. Charged Crescent Slash is crazy good. God, he's using the Goo Shaver. Also, just, like, this is a really cool attack. So I'm glad we get to see it a little bit. Oh. Alright. Is it really 5 seconds? Yeah, Jesus. Like... Using weaknesses... Yeah, Bollywood Syndrome is a good word for that. I don't think anybody has Spark Mandrill's weakness turnaround. I think... I feel like the closest approximation to that in this would be being able to just pour on damage to Tidal Whale, personally. And that's more just because you can hit him block, but he doesn't get stunned. It's just like, if you sit on top of him with the charge shot full hit, which you can do because you start with the force armor, it becomes a very quick fight. But I can't think of one that's faster than that. Definitely none off the top of my head that, like, stun lock the same way. I actually lost the floor in the visual confusion there for a second. This has a fun jump. I might fuck up. Is this it? No, this is it. Okay, so because of Gaia Armor's dash and speed, the only way you can make that jump safely, you might be able to do it if you're pixel perfect, you have to cling to the side and then wall jump off of it. If you try to dash from the top, it doesn't work. And it took me a while to figure that out, but it's a really satisfying one to pull off when you actually do it. I actually think they might have asked about the original localization thing, and I don't know if she cared, but I might be, like, inventing that memory. Impressive. Oh, yeah, this phrasing is very bizarre. Impressive. The #1 Reploid you are. It's like, that's such a... Okay. I mean, you are very ill, so whatever. It also took me forever to appreciate this boss arena, because the original lore nerd in me is like, they weren't found in the same location. That's super stupid. Um, and then it occurred to me that, like, oh, the capsules are ripped up, so this, like, horrible, vengeful final Sigma, like, found and, like, dragged these capsules here for a final confrontation, and that I think is pretty cool, if that's what's supposed to happen. That's the way I interpret it. Anyway, here's all these plot points that don't make any fucking sense. So if I can get a good pattern, I can dump truck him, too. Yeah, that's good. Just keep doing that move. Ah. Yeah, just once. I didn't get the best damage race on him, but that wasn't the worst. Yeah, I just downloaded the JPEGs. It's less the blueprints and more the physical capsules, but yeah. And also, yeah, the Reploid thing fucking bothers me, and I mean, there's also certain lines of dialogue in, like, X3 and a couple others where they call him Mega Man X. It's like, that's not his fucking name, god damn it, like, it's not correct. The #1 hunter you are. It's like, but, okay. That's true, too. Like, that's the other interpretation there, is that, they might not be physically there. Hey, how does this angle work, buddy? I hate this translation so much. We'll talk about it during the credits. But Shadow Devil wore me right the fuck out, so I want to really quick just pop up here and bully Sigma the way he deserves to be bullied. Because Gaia Armor is good at everything. Oh, well, alright. That's my bad. I completely fucking forgot that those would start spawning that early. My fault. That's fine. How much does... I think that's, what, like 50%? So I won't do a sub-tank in the first phase, so that I have at least one going into the second while I refill that first. That said, this is my favorite alternate Sigma body. It's classic and X5, and, like, that's totally it. Oh, don't be a dick. Take it. Whatever. Only use bolts and purple cube. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's just the natural extension of, oh no, you're a wall now. I am a little done right now. The fact that I had to deal with the Black Devil in that phase was definitely kind of like, well, that's the rest of the stream for me. He's also just giving me, like, really crappy patterns right now. Like, he'll get into phases where he'll do the little thrown projectiles long enough where you can pretty much just out-damage him, like, entirely. I actually had one practice run at one point where it's all he did up until, like, the final waves, but by the time he did that, he had taken so much damage that I wasn't in any danger. Like, bud, I just need you to fucking sit still. can't, like... I know I can just dodge those, but I'm really hoping to just fill the sub-tank again. I am actually going to do 30XX on stream, though, for sure. Like, once I get through the X Games, instead of jumping right to like, Classic or EXE or Zero or any of the other collections, I want to go through... I want to go through Panzer Paladin again, because I've been craving playing that. I want to go through 30XX, thank you again. And I want to go through Gravity Circuit, because I haven't actually played that, and I figured that would be a really fun, like, blind stream. See, that's what I want. That was a lot of free hits. See, that's fine. Like, I'll take that. That's great. And also, yeah, it's not even his only cloak throw animation. He does it with the cape in X1, too. I think it's a little bit safer. Not a chance. We're not doing that again. That's gonna be beams, I think? No, you're cubes. Feeling better about this. Okay, or he can crush me into the ceiling. Straight up, did not know that he could do that. Son of a bitch. I don't even know if healing would have fixed that or not. I don't know if that was contact damage or crushing damage. Oh my god. But yeah, I think this time I'm gonna leave the hands in alone for sure. Dude! God, son of a bitch. This is a rough one. I should also just really refill the sub-tank. It's already a full heal. Who cares? Excellent. That was a good one. It was, at the very least, it was fast. I'll take that. And I think what I kind of want to do... I think if I destroy the left hand and then just sit above the right, but I'm gonna... Okay, it's not flat crushing damage, it's... Oh my god, Sigma. You are testing my patience so much right now. I never have this much trouble on his final form. Also remember 4 sub-tanks, because boy, I sure do. Nah, this one's a bust. Man. Let me refresh my memory here a bit. I think... Yeah, you did. You? God, that... Okay, well, I'll start doing that. I am glad you enjoyed Have a Good Night, Thicket. Thank you for joining. I'm sorry it's turned into such a train wreck. God, I don't even know if I want to bother healing this time, because I feel like it's just gonna cost me the sub-tank. Hey, or I'll just immediately get fucking trapped. I couldn't jump there. As soon as I was under the other hand, I was donezo. Good lord. This is the first one I've gone over on. Honestly, kind of amazed that it's this one. I figured 3 would have been it. Although I think 3 got close. Those hitboxes are awful. It's just like they're so wide. Yeah, X3 is a really bloated game. Like I like X3 a lot, but it's so experimental that it adds so much stuff in that's just hard to get around. Personally, although Iruka, I know you make a case for it. I think, if I'm remembering right. Speak amongst yourselves while I get bodied by this awful boss that never gives me any trouble. I cannot believe this. Well, at least this is the last sub-tank, so I should be kind of maxed out. Like, if these attacks just... I think a big portion of the thing that's given me a lot of trouble here is remembering how he has, like, next to no wind-up for anything. So, like, the floor dash is just, like, instantaneous. Like, if you're standing on the ground and he dashes, you get hit. Because he's so huge and there's no telegraph for it. He just kind of does it. Like, what do you... Come on, man. Okay. Oh, but now I get to die? That's cool. Thank you. I appreciate it. I think that's a fair way to put it, Iruka. Like, it's a... X3 is really fun for all of the neat toy box stuff it has, but it doesn't really do a lot with it. So there's cool things that are present, and that's kind of the extent of it. I think that's fair. My dude, will you just do the teleport or something? Like, come on, man. There we go. Okay, this one... Well, I'm not even going to say anything. Knock on wood, I guess. There's my knock. Fire truck outside. Right, now if you'll just fucking chill out. Don't you fucking dare. There's my first. Also, God, just that. Like, stop just phasing in and out. No. Oh, God, am I really... Don't do it again. Okay, that's fine. That's kind of fine. There we go. Jesus, that took too long. I'm just gonna let it sit on that scream for a second. Jesus fucking Christ. Darn, but I'll never die alone. I'll take Zero down with me. Where? Where, Sigma? He's not even fucking in the room right now. That said, I do really like that as a fucking bullshit Sigma move. Like, I'm just gonna be the biggest goddamn clown shoes troll in the entire world. I'm trying to think, like, he sort of uses Zero as a shield in X2. Kind of. What an effective shield he is. See? Remember that whole, not even the third worst injury in this game. Yeah, exactly, Sigma. Or, exactly, Myth. Oh god, you've become one and the same. Haha, whoa! Whoa! I remember in the Let's Play, one of the commenters on YouTube went out of their way to say that there wasn't any hard confirmation that this coming up is Dr. Light. Is, you know, as soon as we get outside. Yeah, so, like, Dr. Light's music plays. There's, you know, a silhouette in the exact same color as Dr. Light's AI. And then, you know, I want you to rest and relax for now, which is, you know, a nice passive, fatherly thing to say. Oh, it actually doesn't confirm that that's Dr. Light. It's like, my dude, there's a certain point where you're just looking for an argument. I know, and, like, it's either, like, you know, the silhouette of his gut or his beard or whatever else, but it's just like, you can't be serious. Like, I know that we want some speculation and that is, like, an intentional thing, but good lord. Not Hori block. Oh! You pointing out the 3 years thing, even though this is not what you were just saying. This credit theme sucks. Jesus. I it just now occurred to me, literally just now, that the entirety of the canon thoroughfare through from X4 or from X5 to X6 is, even though the Eurasia is destroyed in space, the destruction still like catastrophically impacts the Earth below and the climate, and causes so much pollution that humans need to like retreat underground while Reploids do cleanup work. So 3 years later, in that shot, it's like a nice pristine city. So clearly they didn't consider that at all, which it's decently funny, I guess. It's not a huge deal, but it's definitely like that's the ending that would lead to that. It's X getting Zero's saber, and Zero being gone, and all that. But actually, Games Freak, Douglas is very popular. Wait, hold up, yes. Also, I'm sorry, I have to watch through the credits, otherwise I don't get credited as completing the game for the achievements. So we're stuck here, even though we're past time. X5, several months after the Reperforce War, yes. Yeah, that one I almost don't know if that's like another weird translation error. You could at least chalk that up to that, but I think it's much more likely that in the rush to get to exactly, Aruka. That's precisely what happens there. No shipping on my watch. I love how like almost true that is, which is kind of sad in its own right. Anyway, now that we're at the end of the game, look at how uneven the color of Sigma's eyes are in the banner. You have to be cursed with this knowledge now too, because Jesus has it been bothering me the entire time. I think that phrasing myth might involve like everybody's so busy with the restoration work and also just translated badly again. I like X6's story a lot, but yeah, the actual hard writing and translation and all that are really rough. But yeah, you could at least interpret that portion that way. It's like, okay, Mavericks at this point aren't even the fucking A plot anymore. Like, humanity can't even live on the surface of the planet. Exactly. Finish off Gate, and he comes back to life and just uses all of his god tier power to fix everything immediately. Yeah, Zero pulled a lot of, Zero really helped. Special A rank the whole time. I always really liked that as a final frame. Oh, right. I already have that achievement. Let's do a quick recap on that, though. Oh, I did get 2 more at least, so that's good. I got the defuse the bombs, and the hardest one out of both collections, so I'm totally down for that. View all endings of X5, that's going to be a pain in the ass. Obtain 8 upgrade parts, that's going to be mostly a slog, but the fact that those are the only 2 left actually aren't that bad for X5. And then we've got this X6 achievement. It's just like, this game's really hard. You're probably going to turn on Rookie Hunter mode for it. Oh, man. Excellent. So good. Anyway, I'm vastly over time and deeply exhausted. I think Legacy Collection 1 outsold by a fair amount, which is a shame because I still really do love this set, and I'm really glad. Rookie Hunter mode is specifically for the collections, and it basically just makes it so that you get, like, the same effect of, like, falling into a pit when Beat would recover you in the classic games, and spikes aren't instant kills, and stuff like that. Like, you just take damage reduction and, you know, things to make the series more accessible for newcomers, and I'm fine with that. I think that's an okay. Yeah, like, given the two sets, one is obviously more stacked. It's impossible to argue with that. But I'm glad that both are there, although it really does make a good case for why these collections shouldn't be split. Like, there's really no reason for it, for, you know, how modern games work, and the fact that it's doing this for these specifically. Because, like, the classic collection is definitely more broadly, like, you can pick and choose any of them. I know 7 and 8 have people that don't like them, but I think they're much more well-received than stuff like X6 and X7, especially. Then 0ZX is all one, which is how they should all be, and Battle Network only gets better over time, so the second collection for that one is arguably the better one, and you're more likely, just by virtue of, like, you know, numbers and stuff, probably going to get both of those instead of just two. So I don't know. I really wish they wouldn't do the split thing, but that's whatever. It's whatever, I guess. I have to take off for the evening, though. I'm super glad you guys got to show up and hang out, and I'm sorry that this one was a little bit more messy, but at least it was fun to kind of pick on it at the same time. But we'll be back for Team Tuesday tomorrow, so Myth, at the very least, will be involved in that one directly. And I hope everybody has a thunderful evening.